Eleanor loved old things. Dusty antiques held stories, stories whispered from the past. She frequented flea markets and antique shops. Each visit was a treasure hunt. One chilly afternoon, she found herself drawn to a small, cluttered shop. The air inside smelled of must and old paper. Eleanor browsed the aisles. She examined faded photographs and tarnished silver. Then, tucked away in a dark corner, she saw it, a portrait. It was propped against a chipped porcelain doll. The portrait was of a man. He was dressed in a dark suit. His expression was unreadable. His eyes seemed to pierce through Eleanor. They were what drew her in. They held a depth she couldn't explain. The painting was unsettling, yet she couldn't look away. "He's quite something, isn't he?" The shopkeeper's voice startled her. A touch melancholic, perhaps, but a true masterpiece. Eleanor hesitated. She shouldn't, but something compelled her. She bought the portrait, ignoring the prickling sensation on the back of her neck. Eleanor hung the portrait in her hallway. It looked different in the dim lighting, more imposing. Later that evening, Eleanor walked past the portrait. She stopped. The man's eyes, they were following her. She shook her head. It was just the lighting, a trick of the shadows. But doubt lingered. Over the next few days, she noticed other things, subtle changes in the man's face, a slight tightening of his lips, a tilt of his head. Each time, the changes were barely noticeable, yet they filled her with unease. Eleanor began avoiding the hallway. She dreaded encountering the portrait. The feeling of being watched intensified. Was it her imagination? Or was there something truly sinister about the portrait? One night she couldn't take it anymore. She stood before the portrait, heart pounding. His eyes bore into hers. A cold dread washed over her. The air grew heavy. "Burn it," a voice whispered in her head. Eleanor looked at the painted face, so lifelike, so menacing. Should she destroy the portrait, or was she letting her fear get the best of her? What would you do?